Great. Live on YouTube and Facebook. Almost done, so we can get started. For those of you that are hopping on here, please go ahead and give us that thumbs up. Let me know who you are that's tuned in through the comment section. All right, great. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and get started, get ready, and kind of get some of the information out there to you guys. So happy Monday to you all. Thank you for hopping on to our broadcast this morning. I am Juliet Abdel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back to us. Make sure that you continue to share this video and future videos out to your network so others can know about what's going on in our community and around. And of course, if you are a new viewer, we welcome you and I hope that you come back to us. Make sure that you hit the like button and the follow so you can get those alerts when we do go live. At the very same time that we are streaming this on our Facebook page, we are also streaming it on our YouTube channel, Westminster Chamber of Commerce. And most of our videos are available on our resource hub on the westminsterchamber.biz COVID-19 page. Now, we kick off every Monday with the mayor to share a few words on what's transpired over this last week, updates from COVID to resources and other information that we should know, not only about the city, sometimes county level, state, and federally. There is a comment section on this broadcast that's available to you to share, whether it's comments that you want to make our way, if it's a good morning pleasantries. I see with us Parker Brown, who shared a quick good morning note our way to both the mayor and myself. We also have Wayne Anderson. This is a function that's also available on the YouTube channel. You can see how there's a little red box beside Wayne who's watching it on our YouTube channel. And of course, Dave Carpenter. Thank you guys for hopping on to the broadcast. This is the area that we will gauge the level of engagement. So if you have compliments, comments, or questions, please type them into this comment section of this broadcast. Once the mayor is done visiting about the information he's sharing, we'll pick back up on those questions. And if you don't have any questions, then we end up going into a lot more detail instead of the 3,000-foot perspective that we try and give you on this shorter broadcast. So with that, it's a chilly Monday. I hope you're staying warm, that you are re-energized from this last weekend. And Mayor, I will mute myself and have you take this away.
All right, thank you, Juliet. Good morning. Parker, Wayne, David, good morning to y'all and anyone else who's out there who hasn't logged in. I'm going to give you some numbers, but as I told Juliet, I'm a little suspect of the numbers this morning. Our screenshot shows that Adams County is at an infection rate of 1139.2 with a positivity rate of 13.9. The next one is Jefferson County is at 906.9, positivity rate of 10.7. Now, I'm going to caution you about these numbers. There has been no testing at the drive-through sites for about 4 days now, and I don't know if they're open today, and that is because of cold weather. It's just too cold for the people to stay out there. So I can't tell you that these numbers are up to date. They're based again on a 2-week rolling average, but if we don't have testing going on, then people aren't reporting in. So this may be a good number since it's a 2-week average, but then it could be skewed because of lack of testing for about 5 days. So take them for what they're worth. We'll continue to watch them as we do every day. Good news, vaccinations have arrived in Colorado, and we have people who have been inoculated this morning already. Now, there are 46,000 vaccine modules that arrived. We have 46 sites across the state that have been identified as primary distribution points. To my understanding, at least, for the most part, in order to be in that first wave, you have to have equipment on site at your hospital that can handle the sub-zero storage requirements. Now, here in the Westminster area, we have 2, St. Anthony's North and Good Sam. Both have inoculation. They've received approximately 1,000 vaccine modules apiece. This first group, as a reminder, goes to healthcare workers and primarily senior citizen centers. We do not have any detail of whether it's going to be going from the hospital to the senior centers or they're going to try to bring people in. I doubt seriously that they would try to transport all these seniors into the hospital. So I'm assuming, which could be good or bad, that they're going to send teams out to them. As long as they have dry ice to carry the vaccines on, they should be okay. We expect to see a couple more waves coming in soon, but depending upon your condition, your health, underlying conditions, your age, your jobs, we will see vaccines arriving between now and probably mid to late summer. So when the opportunity comes up, if you're of a mind, and we know that not everyone is comfortable taking the vaccines, but if you're comfortable, then you should seek out these distribution centers to get yourself vaccinated. The numbers that we are hearing are still for increasing us to herd immunity. We need to be in the 70 to 80% of those who have taken the vaccination. Nationwide, there is still concern of the timeline that this testing has been taking place on the vaccines. So there are still people who are nervous. Last numbers I saw over the weekend of those who, based on surveys done by various groups, we're only at probably the low end of the 60% range of people who say they are going to take it. The other 40 or some are going to take it later. They want to wait to see what happens, especially with anybody who may have a reaction to the shot. And then those who just said they won't get it no matter what. So we need to get up there. So this is a personal decision each of you need to make. I want to tell you a little bit about tonight, what's going to happen to City Council. I'll ask you if you have the opportunity to tune in. This is the time that we honor the Youth Advisory Panel members, and specifically the graduating seniors who at this point have already graduated and left it back in May and June. But then we will also welcome the new team. And I will tell you, because of COVID, we're about half capacity of our youth leadership panel. So if anyone has an individual child, they do not have to live in Westminster. They do not have to go to a Westminster school. They must be 8th grade or above, and they must have an ability to get to the meeting. Now, normally when we've held the meetings in purpose, they have been at City Hall, but like everybody else, for the last few months, we've been doing them virtual. I have openings for 10 students. So if you can identify anyone, get the word to me of the person's name and contact number, and I will reach out to them personally. If they're under 18, which most of them are, then I will also talk to the parents, because I need to make sure that the parents are aware of this and they have permission. So if you have a student you think would be good to be a part of this, these kids have the opportunity to do things not only here in Westminster, but here in the region. In many cases, I have introduced them on cultural exchanges with students of their own ages from other countries that we've gone and spent the day with. And we had to cancel the in-person event this year as it was a last minute thing. So we did not have it this year. We hope to return again next year. We also lost the Youth Leadership Regional Summit because of COVID this year. This is one that the students plan, they organize it, they schedule it, they hire and fire their own speakers, and I help them with the hotel arrangements and the fundraising. So because we are not able to hold it this year, we are already planning one in the March, April timeframe for 2021. So we hope to be back on schedule. And again, if it's the COVID issue, then we'll try to find a date. This is a very important piece for these kids to get an opportunity to understand how it takes to organize these events. They do the menu selection. They look for in-kind donations. Chick-fil-A has been an annual donor for us. They usually bring in the breakfast sandwiches for the kids, and they have no problem disposing of all the sandwiches. But if you have anybody that's in your ideas of who kids would be that'd be good for this, is it a great learning opportunity. It also looks good on the college application. Having been involved with this, it also gives them a lot of points in the National Honor Society for the volunteer hours that they're doing. And we saw some of them this past weekend over at the Cops for Santa. helping to do Christmas wrapping and getting stuff ready for Santa's to deliver on Christmas Eve. So again, if you can, reach out. As far as anything big, this is the time of year where we end up doing a lot of contract stuff, wrapping up the end of the year, carrying over into next year. So there's quite a long agenda. No post-meeting items tonight, no executive sessions, but it's still a 2-page agenda of items that we'll be doing tonight. Juliet is kind of quiet with lack of testing, a lot of new numbers. Great advantage that we've got the vaccines in the state now, that started, but not a lot of new information around COVID. Here in the next couple of meetings, probably after the first of the year, I will give you an update on the opioid program that's going on. I am part of the state negotiating team, negotiating settlements between the Attorney General's office and the big pharma groups on what's going to come out. We're looking at anywhere from $400 million to $1 billion in the settlement. So we are working on this right now. We have been for about 2.5 months, but everything is still trying to get to that first level of negotiations. Other than that, I'll turn it back to you, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. We have had a number of people that have hopped on. It's probably because we have some positive news along the way today, too. But I see Mario. I also see John Gonzalez out in DC. I see Rob. I also see you, Tara, Daniel, and Emilio. Thank you guys for hopping on here as well with us. Councillor Bowles commented early on. I just wanted to pull his comment. A quick good morning, Monday morning message. We appreciate you for hopping on and, of course, being a part of council. Tara shared her excitement for some of the vaccines, and thank you, Mayor, for prefacing, so if you are comfortable taking it and if that is going to be your direction, please, by all means, consider that and do that. And then for those of you that are of a different mindset, please, again, do you, but know that these are available to you. So thank you, Tara, for that dose of excitement and encouragement that you had. She did follow it up with, "I've never been so excited for a shot." So that was nice.
Take your friends and neighbors with you, will you?
Right. Yes, please do. Yes, make it a party. So this question, we do have a question that came into us from Parker. This question relates to the 5-star certification program. I know, Mayor, you had shared a little bit about this a little over a week ago when the state first pushed this out through their public health department, made it an option for folks to provide feedback and input. They've even expanded that window for people to comment. But do we have any update on where things are at with that program?
No, I don't have an update this week yet because I'm still waiting to see what day they're going to actually open it back up again. I know they were getting the platform ready. I will turn my question back to the members. How many of you sent an email in to Ms. Wolf with comments about the program? Hopefully, a lot of you. I'll bet a nickel to a donut that Parker Brown sent something in, and he should. We are still very much under the crisis of not being able to open up right now. This is not going to help us stay in a situation very long. We still need to get people back to work. Unemployment is not going to carry it. The federal stimulus package is still held up in Congress. They are not in agreement. As late as this morning, they're now talking about, instead of one package, splitting to 2, and hopefully trying to get one through. Less helpful is the one that the package that contains help for states and counties. That one is still very much not supported by the Senate. But if we can get the other one through where we could help employers and employees, the last number I heard was a weekly increase in unemployment of $300. I haven't heard of any higher numbers that were contained in the bill. But we don't know. We're hoping to have something around the end of the week. I will send a message to Jessica later this morning on a couple of questions we have for CDPHE, and I'll see if there's anything coming back from the 5-star program and if they think it's going to move forward or not. Again, remember, the only group that's working on this right now is Mesa County under a pilot program. And what I don't know is, have they completed the program enough to send verifiable data into CDPHE? So we're kind of in the background because all of it's being handled at the state. And unless we ask specific questions in some of our meetings that we have them during the week, we don't get a lot of data coming out of them. Right now, I think the big push everybody's on is vaccinations. from our county health departments to our state CDPHE, getting those vaccinations here, getting them out, I think is their number one priority, at least for this week. But hopefully somebody is still monitoring what's going on with our 5-star program, that's something that's going to be allowed to go forward.
Absolutely. And Mayor, if I may just kind of follow up, I know Jeffco is trying to do exactly what you were saying, looking at Mesa County, seeing what they can derive from it, and as a county, seeing what we can all do together. So great question, Parker. Thank you for those comments, Mayor. Just quickly following up, I know Mayor Atchison had provided an email address. He'd also provided us a link last week so that you all can see the framework. We've linked that information onto our COVID-19 page. The link I've also included once again for you into the comment section of this broadcast. Please be sure that you review that. And if you have any comments, whether you are involved in business or an advocate for business, etc., and see something in there that you would like to provide input on once the period has reopened, or the email that's available to you, please be sure that you leverage that to your fullest advantage. I see Lori on here with us. Thank you, Lori, for hopping on to this broadcast as well. Mayor, what does it look like as far as holidays that are coming up? Is there a change in the operating hours, the schedule for council, the facilities as far as the recreation center, all those different amenities that we have may be available to us here in the city? Obviously, with the holidays coming up, that might change some of the hours to them. Has that structure been set yet? Has the schedule been reviewed?
Yeah, as usual, we've changed our meeting date, but we are required by charter to have 2 council meetings. So we have one tonight and we have one on the 21st. We will not be meeting after the 21st for the remainder of the month of December. City Hall and all facilities will be closed Christmas Day and New Year's Day. As far as some reduced hours, I will anticipate that at least on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve that they will probably close early. As far as I know, the others that are open are on the hours that they've already identified. Right now, the golf course is closed to golfers. There's some white stuff all over the top of it. I don't know what happened. Mother Nature must have got mad about something. But and the restaurants there at the golf courses continue to stay closed as well, since there are not any golfers there to serve.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that.
What you do is, check your individual sites, from libraries to rec centers. Check the city website. You may find some updated information there if they're changing their hours. But if nothing else, call the center just to confirm the hours. And I think there are capacity limits on all of them anyway, so you want to probably secure a reservation if you're going in.
Now ahead of time. Yeah, that makes sense. And I've included some of that commentary that's in here. I also see our current board chair, Brian Dice, who's hopped on to the broadcast. Thank you, Brian. Mayor, what does it look like as far as if we're trying to figure out if those testing sites are open and everything? They have their own websites or numbers that folks can call on. I know we shared earlier on that it's been pretty cold temperatures, windy and snowy. So obviously it was not conducive for those testing sites to be open. But if folks are interested in knowing if that is available, are they going to those Macon sites, or where are they going to find out the hours of those locations?
The only ones that I know of that are monitoring that are going to be your individual county health departments. Now, remember, here in Westminster, we have the one that's on Thursdays down at the MAC. As far as I know, since that one's indoor, you can still get over to that one. But again, that's for uninsured and for homeless. The big one at Waterworld, I don't know. It's going to be just depending upon how they determine it's best for the health of the people providing the testing, the individual standing outside. The other one is check your local county health department. There may be a posting there. There's nothing on the city website because we don't control those. Those are contracted out. And we do not have final confirmation of we're going to be able to open up another big test center in Westminster. That's in the hands of CDPHE right now to see if they're going to allow us to open that. So last update I had on that was Friday. We're still waiting on them to make a decision one way or the other. Now, before I forget, and I almost got it, this weekend, the Cops for Kids decorations and for wrapping packages and stuff took place over to City Park Rec Center, and people could sign up to volunteer with a limited number per group. So when I left there yesterday, there were 17 children who had not been adopted at that point. And Sherry Spataki at the city hall, primarily public safety. She's with our police department, is still looking for sponsors. So if you have the ability to call Sherry at her office there at City Hall, just go to the main number and then they'll redirect you to Sherry's extension. There are 17 children that did not have Christmas. They are still looking for people to sponsor them. Last year, we were at this time, we had nearly 30, but we're down to 17 as of late yesterday. So if there's a way that you feel comfortable, these are individual kids that you're sponsoring, not families, and they have a specific list for each kid of things that the kid needs for their, from coats to shoes to something other for a small child. Just talk to Sherry and she can help you figure that out. But we would really love to try to make sure that every kid on that list got something for Christmas.
Mayor, do we have a phone number or an email for Sherry that I can just drop into the comment section for anyone that's tuning in or tunes in later on?
While we finish up, I'll see if I can come up with one.
Absolutely. Yeah, so if you're just now hopping on, we've gone over a number of items with the mayor. He has shared with us numbers for both Adams County and Jeffco infection and positivity rates over the last, it would have been a 2-week period, of course, not factoring in the fact that the last couple of days, the 3 to 4 days really, our testing sites have been closed due to the weather that we've obviously been experiencing. We've also gone in detail over the vaccines and how those have been distributed out. 46, upward of 46,000 across the state of Colorado gone to specific hospital systems that can store it with the specific guidelines, of course, that there has to be specific temperature and placements for that type of vaccine. This first round, he did emphasize where it will go, and of course, our seniors, healthcare workers, frontline workers that are dealing with COVID and things of that nature. We also moved into city council. So if you were curious about city council and some of the items that are on there. There are 2-page worth of items that they will be reviewing this evening. Of course, public comment is open until about noon. So if you are interested in information about, how to participate through the public comment, I will actually go ahead and drop a link right now into the chat section. So you guys, and I'll pull that up here momentarily so you have a chance to access that if you wish. Of course, we've gone in detail a little bit about the youth advisory program, which is a wonderful opportunity for kids not only that live or possibly go to school in Westminster, but any youth as they gain that experience across the region. So if you know anyone that would be interested in that program, we can always direct them over to both the mayor and the city. We've also gone in detail over the holidays that are coming up. So check for those holiday hours and changes for some of the city services that are generally available to public. And of course, the current need right now for some of the kids around the holidays, of course, Christmas gifts, trying to bring them joy. So if you are interested in supporting them, we will include some information on that. This is the link for the city council meeting webcast details about how to submit your public comment if you have one, if you are just curious about what's on their agenda or radar. The mayor did go in detail about how we will have another meeting on the 21st of this month, and that will conclude the ones for December. Have I done a pretty good summary? Hopefully I have, because nobody's commenting or asking questions. I think we've done a thorough job today. But if you guys are thinking of comments or questions, please type them in along the way. I know the mayor is pulling up some information for us that we might be able to include on here. And while he's doing that, I know a lot of you have also submitted in for PPE requests for gloves, masks, hand sanitizers, and all of that. Of course, we're still doing that program until the end of this month. For now, with our owners and Jeffco, of course, this is open to any businesses in Westminster as long as you fill out that really easy form and qualify in the small business category. You would be approved for those items and hopefully can have a chance to pick those up. Quick comment that comes to us from Brian Dice. Thank you, Brian, just sharing that he's thanking you for the update, Mayor. Good time for everybody to be home right now, of course. Yes.
And Juliet, I'll have to run down that contact for Sherry, sorry. And I'll have to send it to you as soon as I can find it.
That is fine, yeah. Well, is there anything else, Mayor, that I've left out? I tried to recap everything that we've gone over, doing my best to paraphrase the details that you've provided. But is there anything that we want others, folks to know? I know people were curious around this time, how are our hospitals doing? Or is there still a capacity that's being reached at some of those locations? Any changes between last week to this week on that?
Last week, each of the hospitals that was on the call had a couple of openings, not a lot. So again, as we've said in the past, this COVID ICU is one thing, but we also have other patients who are in ICU. I know I just had a neighbor who had a stroke and is in ICU now. So it's not, stroke is one thing, but the ICU capacity has more than just COVID. Right now, all 4 hospitals on Thursday had a limited number of beds, but as they said, it goes hour by hour, day by day. So if they get a rush in, one of the big things that we've not seen, at least nothing that's been reported from the state level, we haven't seen that big surge. But again, this is the week that they were expecting that surge from Thanksgiving would hit. So as of last Thursday, some beds available. Nobody has opened up a surge facility that I'm aware of in either Adams or Jefferson County.
Excellent. Well, thank you for those, Mayor, and those updates. I know the last time we shared some information about hospital beds, there were several questions. So I was glad that you were able to provide us some updates as it relates to that. We are close to our 30-minute mark, believe it or not. So I'm not seeing any comments or questions that are on here. And I know I would love to keep Mayor Atchison as long as possible, but he actually does carve out this time out of his busy schedule to be on here with me. So I'll quickly wrap up. We will continue on with live broadcasts this week. Please tune in if you are interested in our virtual job fair. Make sure that you comment onto that event so we can give you the link for that. And then we'll have an in-depth conversation on some of the vaccines, potentially federal updates as well for you guys. So make sure that you're just staying tuned with our schedule. Some of those broadcasts are at 11, some of them are at 4 o'clock. So we are staggering them based on availability and schedules as they see fit. I encourage you guys to apply for PPE if you are in Westminster on Adams or Jeffco side and are in need of it. If you have not already read the 5-star framework and have feedback that the mayor had shared with us last week, I've included that into the comment section of this broadcast. If you think of a comment or question, did not get a chance to ask us, please be sure that you type that into the comments later on or DM us so that we can get that addressed. Thank you, Wayne, for tuning in and for your kind note. Of course, appreciate everything that our city council is doing, our city is doing during this time. We sure appreciate it as you're continuing to so as we're continuing forward through COVID and what we feel is like a new normal, I know you guys are still operating as best as possible. We will be back here for our broadcast as well on Monday. So know that we're not missing a beat with the mayor. So if you have questions that come to mind between now and then, please do bring that forward. And if you have questions as it relates to testing sites availability and hours, especially with weather, please be sure that you're checking those county sites and making sure that you're on top of it as well. And with that, Mayor, I think I can let you go early. The first time ever, I'm going to let you go a little bit early.
Hey, I'll take that 2 minutes anytime I can.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great day and have an amazing council meeting.
Thank you.